Whew, okay, so I'm 24 hours removed from having watched Last Jedi, and I gotta admit, the movie might actually be brilliant. I mean, I'm thinking about it after the fact. Like I've been pondering it, watching videos online. You know, it, it might actually be a brilliant movie. Now, I want to talk about more of this because I really have mixed feelings about it. It's like the movie did really awesome stuff, but did really stupid stuff too. I'll use that, and again, this is spoiler, so if, uh, the whole thing with Leia. It was, honest to God, this movie is the equivalent of Schrodinger's cat. Yes, a physics joke. It's both simultaneously alive and dead at the same time. The whole sequence with Leia was simultaneously stupid as fuck, but badass and awesome at the same time. It's like I am so conflicted about it. I don't even know. It the whole movie was like that. The whole movie. Now, the only way they can salvage this train wreck of a movie, and it was awesome, but it was a train wreck. Again, the same. The only way they could salvage it, and I'm going to be honest with you, is, and this is my own personal opinion, this is what I'd like to see in episode 9. There was two main things going into this that you wanted to see. Well, three if you count Luke. You wanted to find out who her parents were. It seemingly they're just nobody. You wanted to find out who Snoke was. Seemingly, oh, nope. Now I don't think they're just going to leave it like that. Now, as we watch it, we go from 7 to 8. It sucks. Now, if they take 9 and do what I think and hope they do with it, looking back, this might be brilliant. It might be brilliant. Especially when you take them as a trilogy. Now, you're taking it as a standalone movie as we're going along? No. Kind of like how the one ended with Han encased in carbonite, and we're gonna go get him, and then you got to wait X number of years for the next one to come out, and you fulfill the trilogy. I think it's gonna be like that because they've set too much up in the first one. I'm talking the new trilogy, so the first one being 7. They set way too much up in that, and then they gave you these non-exciting, almost middle finger closure with no real closure. So I don't think that's how they're going to do it, especially with the backlash. I think they're going to, reverse gears, and I think they're going to do something interesting in 9. Now, to me, the best way you can salvage 7 and make this a really cool trilogy is if you realize that Rey is Han Solo's daughter and Leia's daughter. Now, if they do that, it will tie everything together really great. Think about it. Luke and Leia are twins. Leia has twins, etc. That makes sense. That was the original thought, that if this third trilogy ever were to take place, that she would have twins, a boy and a girl. That was the original, since like the 70s, 80s. That was the thought. Now, think about what that would imply. That means Kylo Ren and Rey are brother and sister, which would harken back to Luke and Leia. So there would be a major, major connection there. Now, I think Ren was fucking with her. Like, oh, I know who your parents are. Maybe he actually does, but if you watch what actually happened in that one sequence, they had just taken out Snoke and the guards. Again, spoiler. And he basically asked her, "Who are your parents?" And she's like, "Oh," she's all conflicted, and she's like, "They were just junk traders." What if he actually knows she's his sister? Because then they play up that shirtless scene, very similar to how Leia kissed Luke. They could play that up. Now, how would all this work out? Now, think about it. They had twins. Now, you could even go into how does Luke not know who she is? Maybe they assume she died. Maybe they assume she, was lost. And all of a sudden this random chick shows up and is like, "Who are you?" And maybe he started to realize who she was. I mean, again, it could even go, that could even harken back, if they were creative enough, that could harken back to when Obi-Wan asked, he basically told Yoda, he is our last hope. And Yoda's like, no, there's another. Which, if you watch 3, obviously Obi-Wan knew there was another. So, whatever. Now, whoever took the Millennium Falcon, what if Rey, as a baby, as a child, was on the Millennium Falcon? It was taken. In other words, she was abducted accidentally even. Now, what happened? She was dropped off on a planet. They seemingly flew away. But yet later in the movie, the first one, the 7, you realize that the Millennium Falcon is on the same planet that she is. Now, why would that be? Why? That right there makes zero sense. Now, if it was taken from Han, his daughter was on the thing, it would make sense. It would also make sense why Han left Leia to go look for the Millennium Falcon, him and Chewie, and why there was a rift between them. Both of their kids were fucking gone. That would be awesome. Okay? Because it would tie it together in a nice little thing where it's like there's similarities, yet there's differences. It's what people want. It's what the fans want. Now, 9 has to bring back Snoke. That's all I'm going to say on that. Now, there's fan theory that Snoke is a Force vampire, or that he was Darth Sidious' mentor. I can't remember his name. But the guy who could come back from the dead, or who knew how to come back from the dead. Maybe he's died numerous times and he's able to come back. They could play something up like that, because that would make sense too. Because the whole point of, especially in 8, Snoke and Kylo Ren's interaction is that Kylo Ren is weak. He's having doubts, so on and so forth. Because, I'm sorry, it makes zero sense that Kylo Ren could manipulate that lightsaber right next to him without him knowing about it. Because it harkens back to 2, when Anakin says to Obi-Wan, "I can sense everything in the room with Padme." And all of a sudden the droid comes up and drops those worms in there, and they're like, "Oh," and they run in and take out the worms. There is no way Snoke, as powerful as he was, as he's picking Rey up and throwing her around and shit, is not going to sense that fucking lightsaber moving. What if he, quote-unquote, sacrificed himself to push him over the edge? To be like, okay, he is now officially, he is officially, there's no doubt. And then Snoke can reincarnate himself or whatever. I don't know. Because again, the way it is right now, what I'm suggesting, even though it may not be the ideal thing, a lot better than what they left it with. You gotta at least admit that. So if they acknowledge that Rey in him are brother and sister, and that Snoke is still around. Because again, look at what happened. Snoke has single-handedly manipulated Kylo Ren into joining the dark side. Yet, look how he died. Look at how 8 treated Snoke at the end. No payoff. Snoke has single-handedly taken over this whatever, the shell of the Empire, is destroying planets, destroying the Republic, or what's left of it, for nothing, in this just cheap-ass ending. In the middle of a trilogy. So I think he's coming back. He has to come back. He either has to reincarnate himself using the Force, or something. Or he's a Force vampire, or whatever. Because I think there's lore, or stories, or something about a Force vampire, or something. I don't know. Because that is the only way you're going to salvage this. And if they do that, and you look at 7, 8, and 9 as a collective, that's going to be really kind of cool if they do it properly. Because right now, the way it ended, her parents were, nah. She just randomly got dumped off on the planet with the Millennium Falcon, and she just randomly found the Millennium Falcon, and she just randomly found Han, and just randomly fell into all this stuff, and hey. Now, granted, I guess you could say the same thing about Luke. How the droids randomly came to his planet. How they randomly found him. You know, I guess you could make that argument, but there's no point to it. There's no point. They have to bring Snoke back on some level. On some level. They have to. Now, I don't know. Well, could he have been Force, whatever that... What was that thing Luke was doing? That Force, I forgot what they called it. Whatever, that thing Luke was doing at the end. Could he have been doing that? And of course the lightsaber, you know, kills him. Could it have just been like a mind trick? He didn't actually die. He's not actually there. Because Luke could do certain things. Luke could manipulate certain things while not actually physically being there. Could it have been something like that? Maybe they could do that. I don't know. But as it stands right now, they've got to do something. Because, but again, if they reinitiate those two concepts, her parents being Luke and Leia, brother, sister, etc., because the Force is strong in the family. She is super strong. She needs to be part of the family. Okay? It makes sense. It works. Again, the connection with the Falcon. Why Han took off. Their son turned to the dark side. He wants to go find the daughter. That makes complete sense. Now, again, I don't know backstory and, you know, comic books and other canon. I don't know. Maybe there's something that disproves that or whatever. But right now, just for the movies, they need to do that. Now, again, they didn't really play it up that much. Like in like when Han and her met, they didn't really play it up. Although maybe he didn't really know, maybe he did know, who knows? I don't know. Something has to happen. It has to be something. Maybe he found her and didn't realize it or something. I don't know, because it was so long ago. Maybe I don't know. It could be something. It has to be something. Now, granted, that might be a slight plot hole, but it's a hell of a lot better than what you got. It's a lot better than what you got. Snoke just randomly died for no reason, with no backstory, no how he rose to power, who he was, what he was doing, nothing. Nothing. Why does Rey have all this power? Now, Snoke did sort of explain that. He did sort of explain that. Essentially, Kylo Ren is getting stronger in the dark side, and somebody else is going to rise up. It's almost like Zelda, Legend of Zelda, where if Ganon rises up, the evil rises up, a Link or a young child will rise up to take him out. And I kind of dig that. I like that idea. And Snoke even said, I thought it was going to be Luke, the Last Jedi. Well, no, it turned out to be Rey. Okay, I dig that reply. I like that. I like where they went with that. I appreciate that. Because if you watch Force Awakens, it makes no sense. She's got all this power. And of course, quote unquote, the Force is strong in the family. Yet there's this random person who doesn't seemingly have any tie to the family. Therefore, why does she have strong power? Now, if Anakin was actually... They had more midi-chlorians, don't even get me started with that bullshit, but was stronger than Yoda, and Rey is seemingly stronger than, like, all of them put together, it would make sense that she was part of the family, but whatever. Or she's Luke's daughter, or something, anything. There has to be a tie to the family. It has to be. And like I said, brother and sister would be perfect, because again, you'd have the same parallels as Luke and Leia. It would work. It'd be great. Whatever. Like, maybe they could have Han come back in a ghost and be like, I sought out looking for you, and I found you, didn't realize it. Whatever. Something. Anything. Again, that may sound stupid, but it is less stupid than what they gave us. Okay? It is less stupid than what they gave us. Now, again, I don't know. I'm speculating. Anyways, let's talk about the actual movie itself, because that initial opening sequence, again, part of me liked it, or liked part of it, part of me hated part of it. Now, I will state this again. I'm tired of the SJW bullshit. I'm tired of the, oh, look, we have minorities, checklist the box, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that. That's a thing for me, and it bugs me. It shouldn't, but it does, because it's a Me Too kind of a deal. I don't mean Me Too in the women thing, but I mean Me Too in the, oh, look, we got foreigners too, or we got this one or that one, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm not against, like, including people and whatnot. I don't have a problem that there's blacks and Chinese people and whatever people. I don't care. That's not the problem that I had. The problem is they purposely looked into every single cockpit and everybody was a different shade of whatever. And it was political. They were doing it purposely, and it was a thing. They were making a thing about it. They weren't trying to tell a story. They were saying, oh, look. That pisses me off. It does. Now, I will say, I actually kind of liked the character Rose. I liked her story. I didn't like the aspect of where her story was. The whole casino thing was completely irrelevant. It was a completely stupid storyline that was simply tacked on just so her and Finn could have something to do in the movie. That's all it was. Now, I'm not saying they did not build up any type of romance or any type of love between them, or even for her to him, like maybe she loves him but he doesn't love her, he maybe even likes Rey, or something to that effect. They didn't build that up very well, but as far as the character herself, I liked it. They went from SJW warrior bullshit of like, oh look, we got this one and this one and then they introduced this character who's blatantly foreign, isn't like non-white, and I like the fact that they try to tell a story with her. I appreciate that. Instead of just like, oh, here's random black guy flying random ship. Here's 15 seconds of a screenshot. There you go. We checked off that box. That irritates me. But I like the fact that they actually tried to tell a story with this Rose person. I liked it. Not saying I liked the story overall, but I like the fact that they tried. I appreciate that, because that's that, I swear to God, has been one of the biggest problems that I've had with Marvel Comics, which is also part of Disney, is that they try to do that bullshit, and they're too busy trying to do the political garbage instead of telling a story that I care about. I kind of cared about Rose. I kind of wanted to. I wanted to care about her. Let's put it that way. I like her character, so if she shows up in 9, I'm like, cool. Okay. They made me care. You know, for the most part, they've made me care about Finn. Not so much in this one, but collectively between the two, I kind of care. Like, I don't see him, oh, he's a black guy, they're meeting a quota. I don't see that with him. I see it in the opening montage, that battle that was just simply, again, used for political bullshit. That annoyed me. But, you know, I don't really care about all that stuff. If the characters are interesting, I don't care what color they are. I don't care what nationality they are. You know? Whatever. I almost half expected Rose and that one chick to be lesbians or some stupid shit, because they got the little thing and she's holding the little thing. I'm like, oh great, they're lesbians. And turned out they're sisters. I was mildly surprised because it's Marvel, it's SJW. I was expecting the worst. Not that that's necessarily the worst, but you get my point. I was expecting it to be like, okay, well, fine, they're going to throw lesbians into the Star Wars universe, which I guess they kind of maybe sort of did with Leia and the purple-haired chick, that there may have been a little something going on with those two. But I don't know about that, but I don't know. I don't know about that, but hey, you know what? I don't even care. I like the fact. Listen, I like the fact that they didn't just come out and say, "Hey, we're muff divers" or something. You know, it's like, oh, maybe there was something there. You know, maybe they were a little friendly together in college. You know what I mean? You know, smoke a little pot, drink a little beer, suck a little nut. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. I kind of like that because it's like maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't like when they just come out and say, "Oh yeah, we're just banging each other in the corner." I don't need that. I don't need that. Give me the hint. If you're a lesbian and you want to believe that, fine. If you're, you know, an uptight conservative, you don't want to acknowledge that, fine. It works both ways. It works both ways. You don't have to just come out and say, because what's annoying is that they would be more prone to come out and acknowledge, yeah, well, yeah, there was a lesbian experience between the two of them, at least multiple times, and then not come out and say, well, Snoke had this particular purpose for whatever. Like, they won't even come out and tell you base storyline, but they'll tell you, oh yeah, they were lesbians. Yep, plain as day. Clear cut, they were lesbians. But yet then neglect the actual storyline, you know. So again, I could appreciate that. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. Who cares? I like the idea, you know. Even if they were, I like the idea. You know, hey, Han took off. Hey, you know, you know, the bed gets cold at night. You know, I could deal with that. I could deal with that. You know, just I don't have a problem with that. I don't. So, like I said, I liked what they tried to do with Rose. I liked it because they went from the SJW warrior political bullshit into, okay, we have this clearly Asian character. Not that they didn't have Asian characters before, but I'm, you know, like, we're going to introduce this new character who's clearly not your typical white guy or girl or white person. This is clearly, you know, we're making an issue of this, as in it's, again, I don't have a problem with that necessarily, but again, when you're talking about overtly pushing an agenda versus overtly trying to tell a story, I get pissy with that. So again, you have this start off with this overly Asian woman who, you know, but again, I appreciate the fact they tried to give a story that I cared about, and on some level, I did. Now, the overarching concept of the story that they were intermingled in, again, the whole casino thing, was stupid, pointless, and could have been completely taken out. But then again, you take out all their interactions, they take out all that stuff, and then her character's not as good. So it's a catch-22. It's like You want it, but you don't want it. You needed it for her as a character, but you didn't need it collectively for the movie. You know? And then again, like I said, they did nothing between like any type of potential love interest between Rose and Finn, which I don't know, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. They could have played that up just a little bit more. I mean, if you're going to put that bullshit into the movie, that whole sequence of bullshit in the movie, then they should have damn well done it right, and they didn't. They didn't. Now again, they wanted to play it up where she loves him, but he doesn't love her, or he likes her but doesn't love her, or want to, kiss her. Okay, fine. I could deal with that. But like if they're trying to make them the next Han and Leia, no, there was nothing there. Like again, you look at the original Han and Leia, there was some really good moments between them. Like when they're trying to escape Hoth, and they're talking about committee, discussing it in a committee. When they're trying to fix the Falcon, and there was this they were inside the worm, and the whole thing shook, and she kind of fell into him, and that was not. I like that, and she's like, "Oh, don't touch me, or you can let me go now." And he's like, "Easy, princess." That was just really good interaction. And if she needs a scoundrel in her life, great interaction. That was a love story. Unlike Padme and Anakin, or like this crap. Okay. No, piss poor. Absolutely piss poor. Very poorly done. And the whole sequence about the abused children and abused animals, it was like, if that literally felt like it was from another movie completely. It literally feels, to me, it felt like the Mandela effect, like another universe just bled into this one. Like, oh, okay. I thought it was blue. I guess it's not. I guess it's red. It's like, I thought that person was dead 20 years ago. I guess not. I guess they died last week. I don't know. It was a very weird sequence. And what's bothersome about the sequence in and of itself is that it collectively had no point. Now, if they had now what they should have done is actually fulfill their mission, shut down whatever thing they were supposed to shut down, and then try to escape and try to go on and shut that thing, try to do whatever it would, get onto the ship that they were trying to do. They should have went with that and fulfilled it. Now, they could still have done exactly what they did with everything else, but the fact is, you're going to do this like mutiny story and take these characters that had like no purpose in the movie at all and try to give them something to do, and then there was no payout. Like the entire movie had no payout at all of any kind, whether it was Snoke, whether it was her parent lineage, whether it was that storyline with the casino. It had no payout. None. No fucking payout. Now I will say I do think the posters for the show, for that movie, were fucking phenomenal. Leia looks fucking beast in those fuckers. Okay, she has got a great look in some of those. Now some of them she's clearly old. She was clearly old, but some of them she looked really cool. And like there's that one thing, I don't know what it was, but she had like this cloak hood, and it was like halfway around her face. She looked really badass in it. I really like that. And I love that they made her a general. I think that's really cool, especially like the whole women empowerment thing. Blah blah blah. Whatever. She was a damn cool character. She's a damn cool character. And I'm really sad to see what they're going to do with her. Because, it's tragic. I mean, it's tragic on a lot of levels, but... I mean, are they going to get somebody to replace her? Are they going to just write her off? Who the fuck knows? It's tragic. Who knows? Maybe Luke can come back. Maybe they can come back from the Force now. Because if the Force is literally awoken then that means anybody who's died can actually come back physically. So who the fuck knows? Maybe Snoke and Luke can both come back physically. Now, I don't know how I feel about that, but it would make a hell of a lot better story than what they left us with. Okay? A hell of a lot better. Because it was kind of implied that Luke was going to come back and do what he did. You know, he was going to come back and take out Snoke. And Rey was going to take out Kylo. Or at least make it, kind of bring him back from the dark side, in a way. Kind of give him a redemptive moment. Now, this whole balance of the Force, I don't know. I don't think you can balance the Force. Like, one is super strong in the evil, and one is super strong in the good, because the problem with that, the evil's going to do evil, okay? In other words, if you're good and you're like, oh yeah, he's evil and I'm good and we counteract each other, well, you got to keep your one eye open every time you go to sleep because them motherfuckers are going to try to kill you. No, I will admit I kind of like what they did with Luke as far as first minute you think, oh well, he was trying to stop Kylo because Kylo was going to go crazy. He sensed the evil in him. Blah, blah, blah. And then Kylo turns it around. Oh, I was just sitting there sleeping, and all of a sudden Luke's standing over me. He's going to kill me, blah, blah, blah. And then he turns it around again. I was like, yeah, I was going to kill him, but then I had second thoughts, and then he, woke up and grabbed his lightsaber, and we started battling, and he went off to the deep end, and blah, blah, blah. I kind of like the back and forth, where it was like one, then the other, and then back. And I don't know, I kind of like that, but it doesn't feel that... I don't feel that Luke would have done that. I mean, especially the whole original trilogy was Luke trying to admit that there was some good in Vader. Yeah, he's not going to do the same for his nephew. Oh, there's some good in him. Even though there's evil rising up, there's still good in him. No, let's just go and snuff him out while he sleeps. I don't like that. That doesn't make sense to me. And it wasn't even like, oh, I sensed good in him, so I stopped. It was more like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. I'm kind of wishy-washy. And then, oh, he woke up. Let's have a fight and burn down the temple. That was stupid. That was stupid. And again, there was no backstory how Snoke, like, who is Snoke? Where did he come from? Why did he manipulate Ben? Why did he do these things? We don't know. There was no point. There was no clarification. There was no ender. There was no... It just abruptly ended, and that was the end of it. Which, I'm telling you, I think he has to come back. I just do. I don't think his story is over. I don't think... Because it was just so... It's like, I'm going to take over the world. And that was the end of it. Like, oh, and that was the end of it. It was anticlimactic. And I don't... Again, if they bring him back and do what I said earlier, that would make sense. It would make complete sense. Again, maybe Luke can come back. I don't know. I thought it would have been kind of cool if Luke had died a long time ago. Just randomly died, and he wasn't actually there, but he was like there in spirit. Not necessarily in the glowy sort of way, but just kind of, hunkered down there. They could have done something like that. That could have been kind of cool, especially with the Force being awoken, where, maybe he was like transcending his spirit to this particular place. Like that was kind of like his home, kind of a deal. So he's just kind of hanging out there. Rey shows up and he's like, oh, and you find out he's not actually real. He's not even there, like physically. He's one with the Force and shit, and he's just kind of everywhere. Especially when you see the way it ended and what he was doing, the whole thing, and he just kind of fizzled away. I don't know. Who knows? I doubt it. I mean, But that would have been kind of cool. They could have done something cool with that. Maybe. I don't know. Again, I'm not well versed in all the lore, but I don't know. That could have been interesting. It would have been pretty cool. It'd been a cool reveal that, okay, yeah, I wasn't even here the whole time. You're communing with a ghost, motherfucker. Literally. That would have been that would have been awesome, actually, when you think about it. But hey, whatever. Because I don't know, if they have this power to do that, then they should have the power to come back. And it's been established that you can bring people back. Darth Sidious said it. That Darth Plagueis could do it. And Snoke needs to be Darth Plagueis. I'm sorry. He needs to be Darth Plagueis, and he needs to come the fuck back. It's just that simple. Because again, if he comes back, and then you actually get some real revelation in 9, or it's just the whole thing is nothing but a revelation, it will totally make 8 look interesting. You'll go back and look at 8 and be like, that's kind of cool. It was shit at first because we didn't know where it was going, but now that we see where it's gone, it's kind of cool. It's kind of like Alien Covfefe, Alien Covenant versus Prometheus. You watch Prometheus, it's shit. You watch Alien Covfefe, it makes Prometheus look good because you see the transition. So again, if they bring that motherfucker back, they tie her into the family somehow, and they do those 2 key points, that's a hell of a trilogy when you think about it at the end. That's going to be a damn good trilogy. Especially the way it ended right now, where you're looking at it and you're like, what is this shit? What is this shit? What is it? The way they took out Snoke, nothing. Her family, nothing. So basically, by them doing those 2 things in 8, that means the entire movie of 7, pointless. The entire movie of 8, pointless. They need to redeem it in 9 and make it something special. And that's pretty much what I got to say on that. Now, I didn't understand what was so cute about the Progs. Fuck the Progs. Those things are stupid. There's just some stupid cheap marketing thing so a bunch of idiots will go and buy a bunch of stupid little toys. That's all it was. It ain't even cute. They're fucking stupid. And BB-8 gives me the shits, too. BB-8 is just a tweener version of R2. I don't hate BB-8 as much. I don't hate him, but I should, but I don't. But that stuff where he hog-tied a bunch of people. The thing is a fucking ball with a little I don't even know what you call it. Some sort of Roomba on top of his fucking, on top of the little ball. Yet he's hog-tying people. And a lot of people were pissed off that R2 had a jetpack. Oh, yeah, that looks tame compared to what that fucker was doing. He's taking out freaking AT-ATs, for fuck's sake, and driving them around. He's a ball. If anything, they shouldn't have had him do that. It should have been that stupid hacker guy. It's like, hey, I'm going to come help you. Just, why not? That would have made more sense. That way you can draw him back in, make him a character for 9, make him part of the lore, and go from there. Instead, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to help you hack it. Oh, well, I made another deal, and I'm going to take my stuff and go. No, it's just, that's not good. Because if he's a main character that you're going to see in 9, then you're going to have to redeem his character, or at least give him a reason for being, because now they're going to be like, well, I don't trust you, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they could have 180'd that. Or yeah, he sold them out, but then he's like, fuck it, I'll help you. I mean, shit, because, I mean, seriously, think about it. Because of the 2 of them, between Rose and Finn, that motherfucker just not only got out of prison, but he made a bunch of money. Between the ship and all the other stuff. So, they're good business. I mean, even if it was something stupid like that, that would have made sense. But no, let's put BB-8 in a fucking AT-AT, blow off the top, and that's the extent of it. That's stupid. That was straight up fucking stupid. I don't know. That whole sequence just was retarded. It was. That whole sequence had zero purpose to the show, had zero purpose to the plot. It did nothing except give Finn and Rose more airtime. That's all it was for. This mutiny concept, which they could have played something really cool with that. Because if they had actually done a fulfillment of that particular storyline, where again they 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 hack it, they take it down, they get caught, they fight, they get out, and then they do what they were supposed to do. They could have done something with that, and then they still could have had the transports leave the main ship anyway, as just a precaution. They get to the base. I mean, they could have done exactly the same thing, but actually had a payout and make that whole storyline actually relevant. Instead, the story had no point. It did nothing to further the actual overarching story, again, except for Rose's character, which, again, I didn't hate Rose's character. I liked Rose's character, especially based upon the first 15 minutes of the movie, you know? So, whatever. I mean, I'm giving him credit for doing the right thing as far as trying to tell a character that they're clearly doing an agenda with. Obviously, you know, well, we got the black character, we got the Chinese character, or the Asian character, whatever. And yeah, woohoo. You know, we met that quota, you know. But then they actually try to tell a story with it. I do appreciate that. I really do. As somebody who's just tired of, I keep harking about this, but as somebody who constantly in the media that I consume, whether it's comic books or video games or whatever, it's like you constantly see non-white people for the express reason that they're not non-white people. And I'm not talking in a Donald Trump sort of way. I don't mean it like that. Like, I'm not white. I don't see Asian people at all in my life. I don't see black people in my life. You know, that doesn't mean just because I'm culturally closed off that, you know. Again, I don't mean it like that. Again, I'm not talking in a Donald Trump sort of way, but I'm saying if you're going to introduce a character, I don't care what the race is, you've got to do something with them. So again, I applaud them for trying to do something with them. Or her, I should say. Because they did establish Finn. Finn was already established. They did something with him, so on and so forth. Whatever. It is what it is. So again, I appreciate what they did. Even though I don't appreciate the overarching storyline that went nowhere. So anyway, I'm repeating myself right now, and I apologize. I actually said this like 3 different times now, and it's just, I don't know, So anyways, 24 hours removed from having seen it for the first time. Now, it was kind of cool, because I did not know anything going into this. I knew nothing. I wasn't able to see it in the theater, which I'm surprised I didn't get spoilers. The only spoiler that I knew is that people wanted this to be stricken from canon. Now, I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if I'll go that far. Because if they... my personal belief is if they do what I stated, the 2 main things for 9, if they do those 2 things, Snoke comes back somehow, and Rey is part of the initial family somehow, whatever, brother and sister, again, I think that would work out really nice. It would tie it in a nice little package. And I don't know, it would work. I think it would totally work. If they did that, and then told the actual story of the stuff that they were supposed to tell in 8. So in other words, they kind of do this cliffhanger at 7, where it's like, oh, we're going to find out all this information, and then we go to get the information, and it's like, oh, no, wait a minute. And they kind of mislead us, and then reestablish it in 9. That could be a really cool trilogy when you think about it. And that's the only way they're going to be able to redeem that shit. The only freaking way. Because again, if her parents are just random junk traders, and she just randomly got abandoned on the planet, and she was randomly chosen by the Force to have all these massive Force powers for no reason, and, oh, she just randomly found the Millennium Falcon to escape with, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, again, if there's a connection that she wasn't randomly chosen by the Force, but she actually has Force ability because of her family lineage, okay, cool. And she didn't randomly find the Millennium Falcon, but she was on the same planet with the guy who stole the Millennium Falcon. That would make sense. Then he stole it, she was on it, and then Han wanted to go, look for his daughter in the ship, find a clue to where the daughter is. Boom. It all ties together. It all ties together. And again, it's a better story than what they telling. My fan fiction is better than their fucking story, and you damn well know it. But yeah, I mean, I'm living in a universe where Bungie has destroyed Destiny, 343 has destroyed Halo, Microsoft basically is just made Xbox brand shit. And Star Wars is questionable now. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? My comic books are boring as fuck. They kill off the main character, the only main character that I care about, Wolverine, they completely kill him off. So it's like every single solitary thing that I hold dear in this universe is just shitting all over me. Making me angry. Now, I admit, I do wish there had been more Luke stuff. Now, I wish he had turned to the dark side. See, that would have been a little bit more interesting, where he... Although, I don't know how it would have played out. I don't think it could have played out. Well, I think it would have been interesting if he turned to the dark side naturally, like, let's say in... was it Return of the... No, not... Yeah, Return of the Jedi. Or whatever the sequel was. Yeah, that was number 2, Return of the Jedi. Or was it... Oh, shit, now I'm confusing the two. Whatever, part 2 of the original trilogy. Was that Empire? Which one? Oh, God damn it, now I'm confusing the two. Whatever, the second one. No, actually, shit, the third one. Third one, that's where I'm confusing it. Between the second and third one, where he's in Jabba's palace, that's what I was confusing. Whatever. Return of the Jedi, yeah. Yeah, I was right, I was just mixing them up. Because he comes in, he's got the black cloak on and blah, 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 and he's clearly been training. So if he had gone to the dark side on his own at that moment, that would have been an interesting little twist in the whole series, where he's been kind of the bad guy the whole time, or a bad guy. I don't know, that could have been interesting, especially when you put that in comparison with him and the Emperor, where the Emperor is like the clear bad guy, but he's kind of like the almost undercover bad guy, you know. And he's manipulating Vader to take him out. In other words, they're both using Vader. That would have been kind of an interesting little twist. And technically, he did. Technically, Luke was manipulating Vader. So there was definitely a connection where it could have been Luke's been bad the whole time. I mean, think about it. You know? Like Jedis aren't supposed to use their power for like personal gain and things like that. Yet, what do you see Luke do? When the Ewoks got him, he uses his power. He lifts up 3PO. He does. I mean, you definitely could have made an argument there where he's using his power in ways he shouldn't be, for personal gain, so on and so forth. You know, because there is that one moment where he lashes out at Vader, and he just like. You see the face, he's angry, he's just slamming the shit out of him with the lightsaber. And there's Palpatine, like, he's laughing in the background. And, I don't know, they could have made a really cool thing with it. And then you see him in 7, when Rey finally meets him, and he's completely dark side. That could have been interesting, too. Like, maybe it wasn't Snoke that turned him dark side. Maybe it was Luke who turned him dark side. I don't know. Because, I mean, you could also make the argument that, okay, well, he had a school and he was training different, Jedi. Okay, yeah, because you want to keep an eye on him. And which one is stronger? Well, obviously his kith and kin is going to be stronger. So let's make him our personal little, you know, our new Darth. You know? All the while these other kids, eventually we're going to wipe them out anyway, but, or keep an eye on them at least. But I mean, shit. Palpatine did it. He basically operated right under the freaking nose of the Jedi Council. I mean, seriously, think about that. You had the Council, and they were just kind of doing their own thing, and he, went right in and got Anakin. Although Anakin was kind of conflicted anyway, but I don't know. That could have been a really cool little twist. That could have been a very cool twist, and especially, I don't know. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but that was kind of cool. That could have been kind of cool. Now, I do like the idea. I do like the idea that that Luke. They were treating Luke as if he were a legend, as if he were an icon, and he became a martyr. I like that idea. Although I think they really should do that with Leia. Where Leia becomes the rallying cry, the literal New Hope, that she's gonna have to die in the new one. Whether they show like a CG version of her like in a casket or something, which would be kind of creepy and kind of weird, but they're gonna have to do something, and because it would be really cool, especially if it mirrored like Padme's death march that they did with her. That would be kind of cool, I think. And if she kind of became the rallying cry, because Luke was kind of washed up, he had disappeared. He kind of gave up. So the idea that he's the new hope, that he's the new rallying cry for the people. Not like having multiple planets just explode, but hey, whatever. Wasn't enough to motivate them, but now all of a sudden, like their icon, their hero, has just been annihilated. I think they need to turn that into Leia's thing, which would be really cool. It'd be like a really cool remembrance of her, and they could even do some really cool artwork, posters, and really cool. They could do a really cool social media campaign with that. They could do something, and just honor her as just collectively. That they could do, and I think they could really do something cool with that. Because she was badass in the movie. I'm sorry, she was very cool in both of the movies. I loved her in both of the movies. I don't know. I really liked her, especially some of the visuals of her was just very cool in this movie. And yes, even when she's out in space and the whole Mary Poppins thing, whatever. Whatever. Again, it was Schrodinger's cat. It was both simultaneously fucking stupid and fucking awesome at the same time. There was no in between. It was this mashup of awesome fuckery. I can't even. I don't even know. I mean, part of me was like, "Oh, that's so badass," and the other part of me was like, "It's so stupid, but it's badass. I love it, and I hate it." It's like it was just, and I don't know. But the imagery was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Was she just kind of floating there in the hand? The imagery I thought was cool. That part of it was cool, like the cinematography and that was very awesome. But just the idea, I don't know. But it's cool to see she had power. I mean, we always suspected she did, but she never really used it or never really had an opportunity to use it. But yeah, if she's powerful enough to withstand the vacuum of space and not flash freeze, okay. I don't know, man. But that's kind of cool. I mean, that's some serious force power. I don't know if she used a force cocoon or something. I don't know, but the only way they could have made it better is they actually did do a force cocoon, where you see kind of this bubble around her, and you see that like she's focusing. That would have been cool. I think that would have worked a little bit better instead of just, oh, she's just there and there's Mary Poppins, and it's just, I don't know. They could have taken that and actually done it a little more realistically, if that makes any sense at all. Which it doesn't, but it does. It's kind of like that scene. It is, but it isn't. Um, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. But I mean, they could make the argument, which is kind of weird because even Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan had to have mouth breathers when they're under the fucking water, swimming. That made no sense. She can withstand space, but they can't withstand a little puddle jump in the water. I don't know about that. Um, you know, whatever. Let's see what else was there. Yeah, overall, I don't know. I don't know. I like the imagery of the salt planet because first off, you watching it and you see the one dude. He walks out and is like, "Why does he have bloody footprints?" And the guy reaches over, licks it, and he goes, "Oh, salt." And I'm like, "What? What? The guy's got bloody footprints. What's going on?" And then you kind of realize without actually being told. I mean, you were kind of told, but not really. And you see that like just whatever they do, it's chalking up this red dust. I thought that was kind of cool actually. I kind of liked, especially the visual, the ships flying through and there's all the dust and the. I don't know, it was kind of cool. I didn't dislike that. Um, there was potential there. I don't know if they fulfilled that. See, that's the problem. A lot of this movie had great potential, and I don't know if they managed it. And I don't think they did. I think there was some editing issues throughout this movie. I definitely think there was some. Just, I'm gonna have to watch the deleted scenes because, I mean, I don't know. Something was definitely amiss with this movie. I'm not hating on it, but there was definitely something amiss. It wasn't. Again, part of me loved it, part of me hated it. Now, I'm not one of these people that should be stricken from canon. I do think they could, like I said, I think they could do something where they can redeem this movie. This movie is not irredeemable. I don't believe it is. But again, depends on what they do for 9. It depends on what they do for 9. You know? They gotta do something else with Snoke. They've got to. I mean, if Kylo's gonna be like the end-all, be-all bad guy, the supreme leader, well, what... I'm not even... No. That's all I'm saying. No. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, in a way, he kind of has to be. But I think it would be interesting if, Snoke did come back and basically kicked his ass. you know, it's like, oh, you're gonna do this to me? Fuck you. They could do something cool there. But I mean, ultimately, they're gonna have to do something. Kylo can't just be running around willy nilly dark side. He has to be redeemed at the end. He has to come back. I understand, balance of the Force. No. It's not how it works. It's not going to work that way. Because, again, you have somebody who's powerful like Snoke or Kylo. They're going to want to kill you. They're going to want to kill all their Jedi because they're bad guys. They do bad things. And you can't just leave them to their own devices to do bad things. It just doesn't work. No. No. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Nothing good can come from that. No. You want to balance the Force, then maybe one person, and that's been speculated before. Like some people speculated that Mace Windu, especially with his purple lightsaber, was trying to, commune on both sides. a little bit of red lightsaber, a little bit of blue, you know, where he kind of blurred the lines between the two forces. I don't know, but to have one ultra bad guy and one ultra good guy, again, you can't have that because the ultra bad guy's gonna do ultra bad things, and you can't just let them run amok. You can't. Now, I do wish they had gone into more freaking detail about some of the stuff. Like Luke had talked about the Jedi and quote unquote their hubris, and I like that. I just wish they had delved deeper into that. Like, okay, he goes to one of the first Jedi areas, and he finds these old books in an old stump. But it never really explained what the books were, who the first Jedi was. None of this stuff. None of that stuff was discussed. And all of a sudden, this creepy Yoda, like, kicking and screaming, and it just lights the thing on fire. Now, first off, why does he have power to engage in the physical world? Because Obi-Wan told Luke, if you face Vader, I can't help you. Yet all of a sudden, Yoda's here and he's burning down trees and shit, and burning down books. What is he, fucking Hitler? Is he fucking Hitler? That makes no sense, man. None of that makes any sense to me. None of it. So, I don't know, man. I really don't know what they're doing here. Now, what if they did... What if 9... What if 9's a backstory? What if they do something completely different? What if 9 is a backstory? And they bring back Luke. Now, I don't know if they will. I don't even know if he'll want to do it. So, in other words, 8 is technically the end. They just randomly kill Snoke, blah, blah, blah. Willy-nilly. No real payout. What if they go back and tell the story? Like, what happened between Episode 6 and Episode 7? And you learn who Snoke is. You learn who her parents are. You learn about all that stuff. What if it's a backstory? Could they do that? And what would the ramifications of that be? Because I don't think 7 was a great ending. It could work as far as like Leia not being around. And they did set up where it's like, okay, there's hope in the universe again, and yeah, there's going to be a constant struggle, but people are rising up. Although I think they could have played that part up a little bit better, especially the fact that they sent out a distress signal and nobody showed up. I don't know about that, but what if it's a backstory? Is that even a possibility? I'm not saying that's what they're doing, or they probably have already released plans of what they're going to do or ideas, but again, let's talk about it. Could they do a backstory for 9? So it technically goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 7, 8, essentially. Although you could probably bounce around between past and present in 9, so it's kind of a cross between 6.5 and 8.5. They could probably do something like that even. Because that could be kind of cool. It would bring back Luke. Although you kind of need Leia in that too. They could bring back Han. They could. Actually, they could. Which would... it would suck that you don't have Leia in it. But obviously, you can't. Next best thing would be Han. So if he comes in for, let's say, a cameo, and has, a couple scenes with Kylo, or Ben before he turns, I don't know. They could do something there. I think that could be... Because I think they're going to have to bring Han back. In a ghost form or something. Because, again, she's not there. Because from what I was hearing, the original concept for 9 was supposed to be, it was supposed to be like a big scene between Kylo and his mother, basically. Um, Unless for some reason she recorded some stuff before and we don't know about, which I highly doubt. And in fact, I almost guarantee they didn't. Um, which they should have, but whatever. I don't know what they can do. Because, like, right now, the way it ended, 9 is in some trouble. 9 has got a legitimate problem. Okay. And again, the 2 points I made, Snoke, her lineage, Leia's gone, with no seeming story of why she's gone. So they're literally going to have to start out at her funeral. Like, oh, General Leia passed away or whatever. She had a stroke or something, whatever. Or she passed away in her sleep or something. Or they're going to have to do something, or Kylo blows her up or something. Something's going to have to happen. Like, it almost probably would have been better if she had just got blown out into space and they left it at that. Although they obviously weren't planning on her being dead, obviously, at that moment. But they could have reworked the story. And some of the stuff, and some of the scenes that she did do, they could have maybe worked in different ways. I don't know. I mean, the whole thing was a mess, so it's not like they tweaking a few things here or there would have really changed that part of it. But I don't know what else. It's like, what else could they do? They're going to have to explain. Okay, Leia's not here, and like I said, I hope they make her like the symbol of hope. She becomes the icon. She becomes the legend. That I think would be really cool. You know, it ended with the little kid with the ring, and he's like, oh, and like, you know, it almost reminded me of Luke when he was talking about going to the academy, drinking the blue milk and all that stuff. And first off, what the hell was that thing he's sucking tits on? That, oh my god, that was just inappropriate. That was just inappropriate. That whole sequence was just nasty. Nasty fucking shit. Is that where the blue milk comes from? Is it... I don't know, man. That was just inappropriate. That was disgustingly inappropriate. And just the look on his face as it's smearing down his beard, that was just nasty. That was just straight fucking nasty. It wasn't even funny. It was like they were trying to make a joke about it, and it's like, what the hell, man? Whatever. Like, I don't know if I can see old Aunt Farouk out there sucking tits, trying to get that fucking thing to spew some fucking Kool-Aid milk for Luke so he wakes up in the morning. Give me a break. Give me a break. I'd rather see him suck dick on Watto there, whatever his name is, from the junkyard. I'd rather see that than that stupid filth. Yeah, whatever happened to him? And I'll be honest with you, I didn't get a good vibe with all the new aliens. I missed the old stuff. And I know they did do a few puppeteer things here or there, but it just... I miss the old way of doing it, man. I miss that. Because it was a really cool art. It was. It's a lost art now, especially all this CG bullshit, where they do the little puppeteers and they do all that cool stuff, you know, Labyrinth and whatnot. You don't see movies like that anymore. It's just all green screen bullshit. And like I said, I know they tried to... I believe they tried to do a couple things here or there that were puppets, and it just... I don't know, it didn't work for me. The whole thing, and none of those felt like Star Wars characters to me at that casino, specifically. Like I said, it felt like it was something out of another movie, and I know other people said that, which is ironic because I said it, and then I went and watched other people, and they were saying it too. It did. It felt like it was out of a freaking different movie. And those whatever the beast things they were riding, honest to God, it looked like those. It looked like the Last Guardian, the video game. Whatever the hell that thing was. I don't know. And I don't want to hate on the show. I don't want to shit on that story. I mean, it was an okay story. It was a bit story that they were trying to make into something bigger, just so that you, like I said, you give Finn and Rose something to do, and you introduce this pointless new character that seemingly is going to go nowhere. I don't know what they were going for. I'm gonna have to watch the special features. I want to know what exactly they were thinking. I want to know what they were going for. Okay, what was the reasoning behind it? I mean, the idea that Disney put this together and then thought it was the right way to go. I don't know. Like, they build up Luke and they build up Rey in their first meeting, and then they throw it away with a stupid joke, with a gag. Now, I thought it was kind of funny, I admit. He grabs a lightsaber. I thought it was kind of funny at first. And it is, but then you look at it in the grander scheme, it's like, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was funny. It would have been good and passable and acceptable if they had actually gone on and actually, explained why better, at least, not necessarily why, but explained better his dislike of the Jedi. It's like all of a sudden he had this moment with Ben where everything shits to bed. The temple gets destroyed, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I hate the Jedi now. There was nothing there. There was no reason for that to be. They did not do a good enough job explaining why he's angry. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. We know why he's angry, but why he turned on the Force. He literally shut himself off from the Force, which means he wasn't communing with his father. He wasn't communing with Yoda. He wasn't communing with Ben, Obi-Wan. Why is that? I don't think they explained it. At least not, satisfactorily. Especially when it's your fucking father. You know? You think you're going to turn that off? Now, I would. My father's an idiot. I would. I'd be like, fuck you, Daddy. I don't want to commune with you. Fuck you. Again, you saved your father's life. You took him from the dark side, brought him back to the light, and you're going to turn that off for 30 years and not commune with the guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Especially somebody who's religious, I can understand being angry with God or angry with the higher powers or angry with karma or the universe or whatever. I can deal with that. I even kind of like that in a way. So I can respect it on a certain level, but it's hard to get behind the fact that, okay, Obi-Wan is there, your father's there, Yoda's there, and you're just going to be like, fuck them guys. I'm going to go live in a hermit. I'm going to go live in a hermit and suck milk tits on a fucking guinea giraffe. Or whatever the fuck it was. It's so stupid. It's like, it's awesome, yet fucking stupid. That's what this movie was about. It was awesomely fucking stupid. And I don't want to hate the movie. I actually enjoyed the movie for the most part. It's just some shit you gotta nitpick. And it's not nitpicking, actually. No, forget that. That's not the right word. It's more than nitpicking. There's some legitimate issues, legitimate plot holes, legitimate issues, and there's a couple places they did fuck up on. Now, if they condensed the movie, took out all the bullshit and condensed it, would it have been a good movie? Maybe. But again, Snoke, lineage, etc. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, it's like they had 3 major storylines going on, and the only one you really care about... Well, actually, it's not true. In a way, you kind of cared about all 3. You did. Whether you want to admit it or not, you care about all three. But none of them have satisfying conclusions. None. Maybe the first one with them trying to escape and they end up getting to the base. Maybe that one had an okay climatic ending where it's like, you know, they're on their doorstep, they're ready to annihilate them, and something happens. Okay, fine. Fine. But the other two, the casino had no satisfying conclusion, and the two reasons you came back to the movie are two of the three. And again, a third is Luke. The two main reasons, again, her lineage and Snoke's, you know, purpose, was never resolved. And there was the little bit of resolution that you did get was nothing. So I think they are literally going to have to retweak that shit, bring it back, and resettle it for 9, because there's no way they're going to leave it like that. Especially with the backlash. And again, if they do what I said, no matter the minor plot holes in what I said versus the major plot holes in what they did, collectively, I think if you put the 3 movies together as a trilogy, it'll be fucking damn cool. Especially if you revisit Snoke, you realize that she is part of the kith and kin, and there was a reason she was dumped off on that planet, and there's a reason why the Millennium Falcon is on that planet. And there's a reason why Han left. Again, it all works out. It perfectly ties it all together. And then you put that as 9, and you go back and watch 7 and 8, that would be a damn cool trilogy. You can't deny that. You can't deny that will be a massively awesome trilogy. Because right now, it's like, what the fuck? Whatever. Anyways, I'm repeating myself again. Like I said, it was 24 hours after, and I just wanted to go over some stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hate the movie. A lot of people, like some people say, you didn't like the movie, you hate the movie, you're a hater. No, I didn't hate the movie. I really didn't. I generally didn't hate the movie, but I didn't. I want to love the movie, and there's parts that I did love, and just a lot of parts that were kind of like, they could have been done better. You know? But again, I love the posters. Oh, those posters are fucking cool, dude. Those posters are freaking phenomenal. Artistically, they are great. They're legitimately great. Like, I almost want to buy them and frame them and hang them in my house. That's how great they are. Yeah, that stuff is very cool. And it was some cool cinematic moments where it's like the cinematography done in 8 was pretty good. Last Jedi, it was pretty good. I didn't dislike it. Like I said, that part was done well. And Leia looked pretty badass in a couple of the scenes. So, and she looked awesome. She looked awesome on those posters. I'm sorry. I love her character. I didn't really like Leia that much in the originals. She was kind of this whiny little, you know, you don't want to smack her in the tits because she's just so obnoxious. But again, you legitimately care about her and Han, which is more than you can say for any of the other love stories in the universe, Star Wars universe. I don't know. Anyways, I guess that's all I got. You know what? Fuck it. I'm done. Fuck you. I'm done.